asking about the worst of the demonstrations of demonic power.
Yeah.
Of course, in an exorcism, you walk into a room, the devil will begin manifesting, and there might be supernatural signs that are exhibited, such as levitation on the part of the victim. Yeah, so inanimate objects floating, sudden and dramatic changes.
The head is turning.
Well, yeah. So in the movie The Exorcist, the original movie The Exorcist,
yeah, I watched it.
that head turning is the only thing that would be absolutely false, because the human head could not turn 180 degrees, right? I mean, the neck would break, and the devil, the Lord does not give the authority to the demon to kill the victim, right? That's an authority the victim does. Every demonic manifestation is done with the authority of God. When the devil possesses, he does so because he has received authority from the Lord to possess.
Well, it's like Job.
Like Job. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. He has to come before the Lord and he has to make the request. Right? So the devil is on a leash. The devil is a very minor reality. He's a minor reality. But he is dangerous. And so when he acts, he's acting with the authority of God. He has to ask that permission. He has to receive that authority. And so in the room, when an exorcism is occurring, there might be different signs that you see. Like I said, inanimate objects moving, sudden fluctuations in temperature, bizarre bodily contortions on the part of the victim, and so forth. So, but something that you need to know, that your viewers need to know, that such things are only done to scare the exorcist and his team. So if I were to bring you into a room, I'm just talking as a thought experiment. If you were to be present at an exorcism, if I were to invite you to come along and be as an intercessor, you walk in the room and all of a sudden you see a chair starting to float in the air by itself. Right? So that might raise your blood pressure up a little bit, right?
Yes.
Okay. It might make you a little bit apprehensive.
I might run.
You would run. Okay. So my immediate counsel to you, so how I would instruct you before even going into the room, is I would say never, ever, ever run, because the devil is a minor reality. And if the devil is more afraid of you as a baptized Christian, as a son of God the Father, than you are of him.
Amen.
And so if you run, then you've bought into the lie that he's trying to create, right? So now, let's say I brought you into the room, that chair floated, you made it through that experience. Let's say on another exorcism, I come in, I bring you in again, and you see a chair floating again. Would you be as scared as you would be the first time?
No.
No. What about the 22nd time you see a chair floating? Would you be as scared as the first time? No, absolutely. You're right. And after time 122, you would be even less. In fact, you might. In fact, your cup of coffee, you might not even put down your cup of coffee. You would see the chair. In other words, that effect has lost its hold on you. It's lost its effect on you. And so that's where eventually an exorcist comes to. In other words, those signs no longer put fear in anyone in the room. And so the devil stops showing them. He doesn't waste his energy anymore. And in fact, he puts his energy into resisting the prayers and the commands of the exorcist. Right? So he performs those signs, those parlor tricks, I call them, in order to evoke fear. But if the fear is gone, then there's no point in him doing them. So he doesn't waste his energy. You see, them. The one in Mexico was terrified because he had a wife and a family. And so he was terrified at losing his wife and family. His wife didn't know that he was having at least 3 different sexual partners every single night. His wife. Wow. And he was afraid that she would come to find that out. And yet, when I offered him the ministry of exorcism, he refused it. He says, Father, I know this is what I need. I'm just not ready to give this up yet. So you see what I mean by the devil puts you in need of him. He makes you in need of him. He is occupying a wound. And it's just like an addict will find it difficult to give up the source of his addiction when he's seeking treatment. The person who is possessed will find it difficult to give up what the devil has implanted in them, even if it's not a gift. Like in this case, it was through sexuality, it was through fornication that was his need was in that. Sometimes the need is in the hopelessness. So the devil has made a person hopeless. I'm too horrible a person. I have too many dark sins in my life. I've hurt too many people. Maybe I've murdered people, or maybe I've committed violent acts against people. And the devil is threatening to expose me publicly, and I'm going to wind up in prison if that's found out. So that's what I mean by the devil implants something in you. It might be a gift, or it might be a wound of this sort. But the victim has to come to a place of courage and say, no, I'm not going to cooperate with the devil. I'm not going to receive what he says. I'm going to put my faith in God. I'm going to approach the church, and I'm going to be willing to surrender this and fight against it and enable the church, empower the church to fight on my behalf. If we have that, Adrian, now we have the basis we need